Hi everybody, how are you doing? It's Connie, and I'm in a different situation. I don't know how this lighting is. My girlfriend set me up on my lighting system in my living room, the pink room that you see me in a lot, my kind of frilly ladies' room, living room. My granddaughters used to call it the ladies' room because it was the room they weren't allowed in, but I finally gave in and let them in. Anyway, I wanted to come to you today and talk to you about something that's been on my mind. And some of you may not be interested in this topic, and some of you might. And so I'm just going to kind of share what my personal experience is with this subject and see what you think. So a few years ago, I was we had a group here in my house, and we had about 6, 8, 10 people in here. And we had, we would have book studies. And we had a gal that she could read a book in a day, and the rest of us were trying to pace ourselves and go chapter by chapter and discuss it. Well, she's just on it, and she's reading them, and she's getting other books, and so she was way ahead of us and trying to keep up, trying to slow down to keep up with us as we discussed each chapter. And so one day she brought a book in that was titled Anxious to Please. And there's the book and the title. And so we were basically studying Christian books. It was a Christian group. And we were studying Christian books. And this book came across us, totally not a Christian book. It's not terrible. I'm not recommending this book. It may not be a book that you are interested in, but there's a subject in here that got my attention, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about for you guys. I need to get rid of this. Got it. So, let me first say hi. And it hasn't been too long since I was here last. I want to try to be more frequent in getting back with you guys because I miss you when I'm not here. And hopefully you miss me a little bit. So if you're new here, I want to, if you like the video, I want to ask you to subscribe and click the little bell button down on the bottom so that you can get notified when my videos show up. And I have a variety of subjects that I talk about. A lot of it is widowhood or having to do with widowhood. But I also talk a little bit about hair and makeup and clothing styles and home decorating, and a little bit about Southern California as well. And my community, and just lots of things like that that are on my mind and heart, and hopefully some of them will have an interest for you guys as well. And I love hearing from you guys when you watch my videos, and any thoughts that you have or any subjects that you would like me to share and talk on. I'd be happy to do that, absolutely. And so let's get into this Anxious to Please. I opened up, when we decided I'm gonna put my glasses on. I'm gonna get all studious here on you. And they have a glare on them. And this lighting, I'm certain, is not the best, but hopefully I can get it set up again in my ladies' room. I like moving around and being different and giving you different backgrounds. So I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, I opened up this book, and you know, most books have this cover page folder on it. And so I opened it up, and now I'm referring to me. And if this fits any of you, then stay tuned. And maybe it will bless you. So I opened it up, and the first thing at the top in red is, "Are you too nice for your own good?" And I'm like, huh? So then I read the very first line on the page, and it had some asterisks. And the very first line is, "Do you apologize frequently or for things you are not responsible for?" I'm like, well, shoot. I might as well close the book right here because I'm done. I can't get past the first one. I guess the book is for me. So I went on to read, just to give you an idea of some other things. That one was just a hello for me, and I was the I'm sorry queen. So if any of you guys feel like, and maybe you're not sure, so if you're not sure, go through a 24-hour period and see how many times you say I'm sorry. Now, I know there are some of you that have friended me on Facebook, and I know you don't fit into this category, but you might know someone that could benefit from it, or some of the other subjects here. So stay tuned. And speaking of Facebook, the other thing that I love to do is get to know everybody on here better and get to know my friends and my subscribers here. So if you can, if you're on Facebook, I would love to have you find me on Facebook and friend me. And in order to find me, all you have to do is search in Facebook for Connie Norleen, ConnieNorleen. I'm the only one on there with that name. And friend request me. And then if you would, send me a private message and let me know that you friend requested me, because sometimes the friend requests kind of get lost in everything. So if you private message me, I'll make sure to get the message, and I'll absolutely accept your friendship. Okay? So, and I'm not sorry for that. I started to say I'm sorry. So I'm going to give you some tips on that. But anyway, the second thing is, do you get preoccupied with what other people think of you? Another one is, do you become unhappy when your partner isn't happy? And I know most of us here are widows, but you can think back to some times, maybe. I know I did. And then another one is, you feel worried or fretful so often that it seems normal to you, but not to others. So maybe someone else can help you if you have other people saying to you, you know, you worry too much, or, you know, you really fret a lot. I don't know, you know, you don't worry so much. It probably is that you are a worrier, or you're fretful, which means you're too nice. I know that sounds contradictory, doesn't it? It did to me. Do you often not know what you want? Can you make a decision? If you're going to go out to a restaurant, can you offer suggestions? Or do you always say, oh, I don't care, it's up to you? That's another one. Guilty of that. So they say, if it sounds like you may suffer from chronic niceness. We're all told to be nice as children. And so we, especially in our generation, maybe not so much the generations after us, because times do change, but a lot of us, yes. And so there's a bunch of things in here that I'm not going to go into on it for you. And if you get this book and you are a fellow Christian, and you love the Lord, I would recommend you don't go past chapter 7 or something. You'll see when it gets bothersome. And we didn't as a group. You know, I've got notes in this book. I think it's up to or through chapter 7. And then we stopped because we had no desire to go further. And I'll just leave it at that. And I think she got this book in a book secondhand store. So it may not even be available now. but I'll just share with you what I got from it. So I made some notes in here, but I don't need to go over all of that with you guys. Anxious attachment in adulthood, the inner life. This is also kind of obviously therapeutic because we were in a group that, dealt with that. And I like that kind of thing unless you go too deep. And I've been deep, and I've been in therapy, and I've been in groups, organizations where they you think you're going for, motivation, and they get you, it's like a 2 or 3 day seminar, and they just get you in these groups and you dig down to the bottom. And I'm like, I'm not digging anymore. I'm going to be 79 in May. And I'm conscious of stuff like this and stuff I've learned. But unless somebody proves me different, proves me wrong, I'm through digging. So I don't know where you are in all of that. But this gal was really fun. She made things fun, and she was leading the group. Co-leading, I guess, because my friend, who was the more mature Christian leader of the group, and so she led it, but this other gal co-led it. And we did reach agreements on the books. If we all hadn't have liked this book and found it interesting, we wouldn't have gotten it. So we all bought the book and we studied it. So I want to share with you some things. Now, I say I'm sorry at the drop of a hat. And if you think about it, you've heard me say it when I come on here. I'm sorry it's been so long since I've been here. I'm sorry I didn't get back sooner. So that's me. And this was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago we went through that book. And I'm not healed yet. Because really, this book, what happened when I went through all this mess and cleaning and everything and putting things back, I ran across this book. And I started going through it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. And I found this little cheat sheet, which I'm going to share with you. I don't know if you want to take notes on it, so I'll read it kind of slow for those of you that are interested. Let's see. I'm sorry I'm late. I can't think of any right now, but they just come up at the drop of a hat. I'm sorry to ask you, but would you do, if it shoe fits, wear it. But get ready to kick that sucker off, because I'm going to give you some suggestions. I've got 7 suggestions here, I think, of replacing I'm sorry with other verbiage. And what this will do is to give you, if you really study this and think about it and put it into practice, if it fits you, then you'll begin to think of other places where you could use other verbiage instead of I'm sorry. One of the big ones is if you're talking with a more of a controlling personality, they're bottom line people, no fluff, no muss, just get to the point, which I'm trying to do here. If you're talking to a person like that, and they tell you something that happened in their life, and they're going to be brief with it because that's the kind of person they are, and you say, oh, wow, I'm sorry to hear that. Or, wow, I'm sorry. You know what they'll say back to you almost every time? Almost every time. Well, why? It's not your fault. Ever heard that? If you've heard that, then you're too nice a person and you're a chronic I'm sorrier. So here's some suggestions, and I might be able to read these without glasses, but I'm going to put them on just in case. So it says, replacing I'm sorry with thank you. So the key words are thank you. So we say, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic was really horrible. replace I'm sorry with thank you for waiting for me, with a smile on your face and love in your heart. If you say, I'm sorry I'm late, replace it with thank you for waiting for me. The next one is, and this would fit for a lot of us widows, especially, I think, in our first year and maybe more. I'm so sorry I've been so needy lately. I'm sorry I've been needy lately. That's not what they want to hear, and it won't get you the right kind of reaction. So what we need to say is, thank you so much for being there for me. Doesn't that sound better? I'm sorry I've been needy lately. Thank you so much for being there for me. Big difference, isn't it? So here's number 3. I'm sorry to ask you for a favor, but instead, and this could use some work, but this is what they're recommending. Thank you for helping me out. I would work on that one a little bit, because that's like thanking them after they've already helped you out. So I guess that's what this is meaning. It's referencing that after you've asked them for a favor and they've helped you out, and then you say apologetically, I'm sorry I asked you for another favor, but thank you. How about instead of that, thank you for helping me out. I'm really grateful. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And the fourth one is, I'm sorry I made that mistake. If we're working with coworkers, we might have said that once or twice or thrice. So instead, thank you for pointing out my mistake. Now, I will tell you, it doesn't set real good, because you really don't want to have your mistake pointed out. But it's the right thing to say. I'm sorry I made a mistake. It's just like you, to them, you look like you're groveling. And so instead, thank you for pointing out my mistake. I'll pay attention to that next time, or something like that. Number 5. I'm sorry, but I can't make it tonight. Now, this could be a whole subject, but I'll keep it at just this. Instead, thank you for inviting me. And that kind of makes it sound like, and you'll accept the invitation. So if you don't want to accept the invitation, instead of saying, I'm sorry I can't make it tonight, thank you for inviting me, but I can't make it tonight. And one of the things that I would add to that, instead of doing a whole video on it, is if we're nice people and we're sorriers, then we have a tendency to explain ourselves, explain why we can't accept the invitation, and we go into great length of explaining why. They don't care. You can go or you can't go. So don't feel like you have to explain yourself. I'm sorry, but I can't make it tonight. And if you want to do it, maybe I can take a rain check if you do it again. Would love to be invited again. But don't say, I'm sorry I can't make it tonight. Thank you for inviting me. Number 6. I'm sorry. No, I got that one. Number 6. I'm sorry for being emotional. Wow, does that fit us right now? I'm sorry I'm so emotional. I'm so whiny and needy. Now, we really are needy, but there's a better way to ask for it. Thank you for loving me. Isn't that nice? So, I'm sorry for being so emotional. not good. Thank you for loving me and listening to me. Throw whatever words in after that you feel work without feeling like you are whining. And the last one is, I'm sorry that I've been so distant. You know, that one can fit for us too, because I don't know about you guys, but I sat here for an entire year pretty much secluded. I hardly ever got out. I didn't go to anything social. Couple of friends that I thought I could rely on stopped coming around. And so I just didn't do much. And so if there's someone that has affected, then instead of saying, I'm sorry I've been so distant, say, thank you for being so understanding. And then add after that whatever you want. Thank you for being so understanding with me not being around as much right now. It may feel like I'm being distant, but I'm really not doing it on purpose. So I really thank you for being understanding with that. See how you can add to it? So what I want you to do, because I'm at 21 and a half minutes and I don't like to go that long if I can help it. So if you didn't get any of those, I'm sorry for, or what the answer was, comment down below and I'll write it in there and let you know what it was, okay? So with that piece of therapeutic information I'm bringing to you today in my unusual circumstances, it's a very hot summery day here. It's going to be 99 and this is the beginning of April. We've got a 3-day heat wave. We got 91, 99, and 98, and then we're dropping down to 80 and then 70 and then 60. So it's kind of odd. Anyway, you guys have an awesome day. Let me know if you liked or didn't like this information, what you might have gotten out of it, what you can add or share to it, and if you had any questions. So with that, have an awesome day, and just know if nobody else tells you guys today, I love you.